the NAACP Bremerton Unit 1134 79th Annual Freedom Banquet. The conduit is here to cover the events. So let's go ahead and get started.
Hello, everyone. So if you've already been assigned a seat, please make your way to your table. We want to get started as quickly as possible. So if you've already been assigned a seat, please make sure you make your way to your table. Thank you.
See Representative Derek Kilmer, Mayor Wheeler, lots of distinguished people here today, as you can see, coming in. NAACP Bremerton Unit 1134 79th Annual Freedom Banquet. Fantastic event. Look at all these fine folk here. It's good to see them all. Just wonderful. There's Christina Rourke taking pictures of folks. Doing her thing there. All right, so folks are coming on in. We're getting started here momentarily.
Afternoon, everyone. Again, if you have been assigned a seat or a table, please make your way to your table so we can begin the program. You too. If you have been assigned at a table, please make your way to your seat so we can begin the program. Oh, yeah, please feel free. I'm sorry. If you have not been assigned a table, please check in with the young ladies at the front of the venue. They will check you off the sheet and show you to where your table is. Come on, people. Come on, people. Again, if you know where your table is, please make your way to your seat so we can begin. herding cats. Again, if you have been assigned a table, please make your way to your seats so we can begin the program. I'd like to thank everyone for being here today.
Is it appropriate?
That is a very good question.
Okay.
So what? Let me
You
ask Robert.
decide. You decide. I won't force anything on you.
Well, we're gonna be mentioning all of the different sponsors, so that might be a good time to mention.
Yeah, that would be
Is it?
On the mic?
Oh yeah.
Is it on?
No, you got to turn on the switch. Oh, I guess it's on. You got it.
If I could have everyone please take their seat so we can get those who have not had their seat yet placed, and then we'll get this event started here in a few minutes. Thank you. And thank you guys for coming out. Y'all look beautiful. Y'all look outstanding. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Again, if you've been assigned a table, please make sure you make your way to a seat so we can begin our program here. If you have not been assigned a program, please check in with my lovely wife, Judge Tracy Flood, right there. And we have Danielle Turner, Treasurer Turner for the NAACP, is also floating around. It has a list So please make your way to your seats.
Man, that room got quiet real fast.
Good evening, everyone. Lovely to see so many beautiful, smiling faces. I know it's been a while since we've been able to get together due to health concerns throughout the country. So it's nice to see everybody here today and dressed up and looking good and smiling and ready for a great program. So I'll go ahead and get started here. The NAACP Bremerton Branch Unit 1134 would like to welcome you to its 2022 Freedom Fund Banquet as we celebrate our 79th year anniversary. I'm your NAACP Bremerton Branch Unit 1134 President, Robert Harris. This branch of the NAACP was established in 1943 by trailblazers that have sacrificed so much we can so that we can stand before you today. Our theme for this year's Freedom Fund Banquet is Black Women Are Supreme. And yes. In honor of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson being sworn in as the first Black woman to serve on the United States Supreme Court. Yes. But along with Judge Jackson, there have been many other Black women who have made their mark as the first in history, locally and across the country. We have Phyllis Wheatley, first Black woman to publish a book in 1770. Mary Jane Patterson, first Black woman to get a college degree. Charlotte E. Ray, first Black woman to get a law degree in the United States, 1872. Madam C.J. Walker, first Black female millionaire, 1910. Shirley Chisholm, first Black woman to be elected to the United States Congress, 1968. Toni Morrison, first Black woman to win the Nobel Prize 1993. Kamala Harris, first Black female Vice President of the United States. Of course, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, first ever Black woman sworn in as the United States Supreme Court. Michelle Obama, first Black woman to serve as First Lady of the United States. Henrietta Lacks. How many of you guys know? How many of you know who Henrietta Lacks is? Raise your hand. Oh, that's good. So Henrietta Lacks, they took her cells, without her family's permission, and they used her cells to create cancer treatments as well as polio vaccines. So there's millions of people walking around today that owe their lives to her. Yes. We also have our local trailblazers here: Lillian Walker, Hazel Colvin, Alice Eagles, helped found the NAACP and fought for civil rights in our community. And just recently, my wife, Judge Tracy S. Flood, first Black woman to preside over the Bremerton Municipal Court. So as we look throughout the history of the country, Black women have played such an instrumental role in the successes we see today in the Black community. To put it simply, we would not be where we are today without you. You are mothers, grandmothers, wives, friends, champions in our community. And we thank you for all that you are and what you represent to the community. So before we get started on our program, I know we have lots of dignitaries here. If you don't mind, would you stand up? I know we have senators and judges and city council persons and Congressman Kilmer here. So please stand, dignitaries. Pastors, stand on up. Give them a round of applause here. And now, community members, I present to you the start of our 2022 Freedom from Banquet program. Your Master of Ceremonies is going to be Robert Harris. Your Mistress of Ceremonies is going to be Miss Jessica Gitry.
Thank you. So President Harris, you're a very tough act to follow, but I did want to point out a couple of things. Some of you may have seen that we have a table over here. This is for our silent auction. We have about 8 items. For those of you who've never participated in a silent auction, what we have in front of each item is a bid sheet. And this is where things can get kind of spicy and maybe competitive. Please do take a look. There's some really amazing things that we have over here. If you're interested in something, put your name, what you're willing to pay. Then someone will come after you and put down what they want to pay. And then it goes back and forth. So this is what we have our silent auction item. And this table will probably close at around 6 o'clock. And then our treasurer, Danielle Turner, and her colleague will let the winners know who they are, if that makes sense. Then, and I know you're all looking forward to this, we're gonna have our dessert dash. And it's called a dessert dash for a reason. Oh yeah, Tony, it's a dash. So we have about 15 or 16 or so desserts back there. On your tables, there is an envelope in there. What we ask is that you think about, okay, how much can you contribute? Because the table that puts in the most money gets the first pick. So we'll let you know when we're going to pick up the envelopes. Treasurer Turner and her colleague are going to get the envelopes. They're going to count the money, and then they'll let us know, who has the most money, second, all of that. And then you dash to see which dessert you want, because the dessert you want is not guaranteed to be there by the time you get there. So also think about, how much money you want to put in. So, we can do cash, check, credit card. I sound like a salesperson, but, please feel free. And there's sheets in there. So please write down also how you want to contribute. If you are interested in paying by credit card, please put your name and amount and just put like CC or credit card. So that way we know that's how you're going to pay. But there's some amazing desserts. So, I think during dinner, after you're done with dinner, you can even plan how much you want to eat. Please take a look at our dessert table. That's all I got. Oh, yes. I'm so sorry. Yes, so I would like to invite up Pastor Coleman to give our invocation.
My name is Pastor Frankie Coleman, pastor of the St. Clair Baptist Church, one of the greatest churches on this side of heaven. Don't die.
Amen.
Will you tell somebody don't die without going to Sinclair? Don't die without going to Sinclair. Hey, listen, it's an honor for me to be here and to lead us in our invocation. Shall you bow your head in a moment of prayer? Eternal God, gracious God, our Father in heaven, we're eternally grateful today with your great love and mercy for us that we're not consumed because your compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Father, we want to say thank you today as we gather today to celebrate with the NAACP, this 79th Freedom, this banquet, Lord. We honor you. We recognize it's in you we live, move, and have all of our beings. And for that, we're eternally grateful. We thank you for the NAACP, this local chapter, this president, and all of the members that participate in the NAACP. We thank you tonight, Lord, for also these dignitaries, these local, city, state, national leaders. We pray that you will continue to strengthen them, encourage them, empower them to do the work in which you've called them to do. Father, we recognize and know that without you, we can do nothing. We pray that you would make us men like Nehemiah to be keepers of our city, to watch our city, to rebuild what has been broken down. Pray that you would use us for your honor and your glory tonight. Now, God, we pray that you would bless the food tonight. Thank you for the food that we are about to receive. We pray that it would use it for nourishment and strength for our bodies. But God, we also ask that you would remember those who are only blocks away, who are still homeless and hungry. Thank you for water to drink, God, but not forgetting, Lord, that there are still those in Jackson, Mississippi that still don't have clean water. God, we honor you and we recognize your presence. Continue to bless our city. Continue to help us to be united. Use this time together, and not only as we fellowship with one another, but help us. Help us to be what you want us to be. Help us to unite our resources, our strength. Help us to make new friends and find ways to how we can become better and stronger, to be better representative of you. But in all things, we will honor you. Bless our time tonight. Be with the speaker tonight. Give them knowledge and wisdom and understanding. God, we love you. We thank you. In all things, we honor you. We ask all this in Jesus' name. Let everybody say amen.
Amen.
Amen. God bless you.
Next, we'll have the singing of the national anthem. Ms. Candace.
Hello. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free
Thank you so much, Ms. Chapman. Next, I'd like to invite up Minister Ruth Jones to sing the Black National Anthem.
Remain standing, everyone.
It's okay. It's exercise time. For y'all that didn't get it in today, you can get it in now. And we're going to sing the first and the third verse. Yeah, well, y'all can hum along with me, or actually you can sing along with me if you want to. Just go right along with me. I hear you, Robin. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven rings with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening sky. Let it resound loud as a rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on our way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light. Keep us forever in the path, we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land.
All right, so next it's my privilege to welcome up Judge Kadeen Ferguson Brown to give us our welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was sitting there and I thought, President Harris just stole my thunder. But I'm going to go ahead and give it a try anyway. And I'm going to probably call on majority of you to stand at some point. All right, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our 79th annual Freedom Fund Banquet held by our Bremerton NAACP unit. We are thrilled that you are all able to gather with us today, especially after not being able to do so for the last 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But here we are, looking fabulous. It is a privilege and an honor to be present here with you all. As was stated, I am Kadeen Ferguson Brown, and I am one of the 3 Mason County Superior Court judges. And notably, since we're celebrating Black women, I am the first Black woman to share that bench. This evening, we are honored to be in the company of some highly esteemed men and women, many of whom will be receiving an award tonight. So let me take this moment to acknowledge probably everyone that's here tonight. When I see the list, I think I'll maybe calling everyone to stand. So bear with me. Congressman Derek Kilmer. Representative Tara Simmons. Our State Senator Emily Randall. Councilperson Anna Mockler. City of Bremerton Mayor Greg Wheeler. Sheriff John Geese. And then we have Kitsap County Superior Court judges, Judge Melissa Hemstreet, and Judge Tina Robinson. We also have in our midst retired Judge Robin Hunt. Commissioner Shane Seaman. And our keynote speaker, Ms. Kitara Johnson-Jones. I have a long list. Okay. Oh, she's down here. She's special. We also have Dr. Frankie Coleman, pastor of Sinclair Missionary Baptist Church. Pastor Ken Riley, pastor of New Life, Bremerton. Miss Harriet Bryant, co-founder of our GEMS. Mr. Anthony Ives, executive director of KCR. Mr. Marty Cavalucci, president of Olympic College. Miss Allison Rotter, board member of Bremerton School District. Mr. Dar Riley, co-founder of Up From Slavery and owner of Hands of Favor. I'd also like to acknowledge some members of our executive. Our president, Mr. Robert Harris. Miss Shannon Turner. Mr. I am sorry, apologize, but I think I got your Miss Danielle Turner. Mr. Andre Henderson. And Miss Shawley Lee. Okay, so I have a few more, and these are the important ones. Okay, so I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge our past president, who in 2021 was elected as Bremerton Municipal Court Judge, Judge Tracy Flood. First Lady Eileen Coleman, who graciously and selflessly serves in various capacities at Sinclair Missionary Baptist Church. Dr. Teresa McDermott, who is an advocate, career coach, educator, and founder of the Kitsap Chronicle. Please forgive me if I don't pronounce your name properly. Mrs. Akwie Karen Vargas. She's known for her advocacy and community leadership throughout Kitsap County. And Miss Kiara Golden, one of our young leaders who's passionate about empowering and serving those disadvantaged and underserved within our community. I think I got a note that I may have missed someone. Is that Brenda Fantroy? Brenda Fantroy Johnson, Bainbridge Island City Council. And most importantly, every one of you that's here tonight, welcome. This year, our theme is Black Women Are Supreme. And this is most fitting as our world slowly comes to recognize and acknowledge that when Black women lead or are included in the room where decisions are made, we all win. Yes. In our fight for equality and civil rights, Black women have steadily led the way for centuries, although often their contributions were overlooked. But not anymore, and certainly not tonight. We who are gathered here this evening, we all know that a Black woman's strength, resilience, and courage can never be overstated. And so tonight, we take the time to celebrate Supreme Black women. In doing so, tonight we will highlight and honor some of our own Supreme Black women who have blazed their own trails and caused our community to sit up and take notice. We will also take the opportunity to honor Miss Alice Egan's, who is no longer with us, but who was a pillar of our community and a founding member of this chapter of the NAACP. I'm almost done. Once again, welcome to you all. Welcome to our celebration. And when you leave here today, remember to never underestimate a courageous, fierce, and unwavering Black woman on purpose, because she will always get the job done. So go ahead, embrace her, empower her, then release her and watch her Black woman magic shine. Thank you.
Boy, that's a tough act to follow there. I don't know, man. I just want to take a minute. We honored, all of our dignitaries and special people in the room. I want to make sure that we acknowledge the wives of these dignitaries, or your significant others of these dignitaries as well. So, please stand up so we can give you a round of applause. Come on, Miss Wheeler. Spouses. Yes, partners. significant others. Yes, yes. I'm already standing. um, Up next, we will have the reading of the proclamation by Mayor Greg Wheeler.
All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for the wonderful invitation and strong leadership in Kitsap County. It is a pleasure to be here with each and every one of you. I'm proud to be a part of this evening's festivities and celebrating tonight. The NAACP has worked to make the world a better place. Before I move on, I want to take a brief moment to recognize someone we lost recently that worked to make the world better, Robert Body Jr. He was an organizer, a leader, and one of the founders of the Juneteenth celebration we have today in Bremerton. It was my great honor to present a service award in June to the organization he helped start, the Community Leadership Coalition and Alliance. He will be sincerely missed in our community. And I appreciate that moment that you're all taking. Now, I have been reflecting on the NAACP as part of today's remarks since the early days of its founding. And the NAACP has been a strong and vital voice in advocating for fairness and equality. Tonight's banquet is a true celebration of the success the organization has had in our local community and nationally. The NAACP has been a driving force in working for transformational change. And that, of course, includes our local chapter in Kitsap County. Your historic work on civil rights, social justice, and efforts to provide more economic and educational opportunities has shaped our community. I am a supporter and a member of the NAACP, and I take great pride that the Bremerton chapter has a storied and inspirational history. Lillian and James Walker and many supporters courageously answered the call to start a chapter here nearly 80 years ago. The story of those early days are eye-opening, but the actions they took and their accomplishments inspired many people. Their mission is being carried forward today by the people in this room and the many, many others who support a vision for a better world. What I know is that service is truly the heart of what the NAACP does. Martin Luther King Jr. said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Well, there is a lot of hard work happening here, and none of it would take place without your incredible commitment and service. I want to thank you for your enormous dedication to our community, and I'm going to now read the proclamation. Whereas the Bremerton Unit 1134 of the National Association of the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, was founded May 23, 1943. And whereas during the long history of the NAACP, the local chapter has worked unremittingly within the justice system and has advocated for civil rights to ensure and achieve equal opportunity and justice for all citizens. And whereas founded in February 12, 1909, the NAACP is the nation's oldest and largest civil rights organization. Whereas on Saturday, September 10, 2022, the NAACP Bremerton Unit will host the 79th anniversary of the Freedom Fund Banquet with the theme, Black Women Are Supreme. Now, therefore, I, Greg Wheeler, Mayor of the City of Bremerton, do hereby proclaim Saturday, September 10, 2022, to be Freedom Fund Day, and I urge all citizens to celebrate the special efforts of the Bremerton NAACP Unit 1134 in improving the quality of life of citizens throughout our region. Signed this day, Greg Wheeler, Mayor of Bremerton. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mayor Wheeler. Next, I'm really excited to invite up Kara Golden and Isaiah Brown.
Hello, good evening. I'm Kiara Galden, and I guess I'll call myself a community advocate. Currently work for the prison for a reentry program. But I first want to start off by thanking NAACP for all of the opportunities that they've given me. Being a part of this organization and being able to have the mentorship really is encouraging as a youth. We've been able to put together amazing programs like the Youth in Law Forum with Tracy Flood, Judge Flood, and the Youth Committee, working with her to start up our Youth Advisory, and also our AXO program, Afro Academic, Cultural, Technical, and Scientific Olympics, which encourages children to work in their STEM fields and to sharpen their skills and push you forward in your education. With these opportunities, I was able to gain the skills I needed to run a recovery navigator program at a treatment center, to manage a reentry program in the prison, and to be able to work as development coordinator for our only state certified domestic violence agency. None of this would be possible without the village that it takes to raise a young woman or any young child. From the mentorship that I've received from Judge Flood, I've also pushed myself to get into grad school, and we have officially started our clinical PhD program. I encourage all youth to get involved in their community and to really think about what it means to step back, take a look at something other than yourself, and think about how you can make that difference and make that change and be that change that you want to see in your community. Most of all, I want to thank God for making me a supreme Black woman. Thank you.
Really quickly, I want to say thank you, Ms. Golden, for the words you gave us. And I would ask my sister to stand up real quick. Come on, don't be shy. I want to thank Justice for being the first Black woman to properly keep me in check consistently. Thank you, Justice. I appreciate it. Mr. Robert Harris had asked me to speak about living life leadership and the work I do with Ms. Vargas. Come to find out today that we are talking about Black women specifically. Today, the issues that we have regarding Black women are unbelievably extreme. We face issues with being kidnapped and sexual violence, not being able to get jobs where we want to. I'm sure you all understand these things. And Living Life Leadership provides resources to children, young Black men and women, to be able to go to school. Ms. Vargas is helping me get into the music industry. And the fight that we face with reversing gender roles and gender ideology, especially considering Black gender roles and gender ideology, is one where not only white men but Black men as well have consistently across history disrespected Black women and not appreciated the role that they play in our beautiful Black lives. Black women provide us with our foundation. Not only are they at the front of the fight, they are at the back. They are sitting down, they are healing us, they're creating our clothes, they're making our music, they're making our food, they're making our soul worthy of this fight. We are not struggling anymore. We are fighting because of Black women. These gender roles are important to get past. We spent far too long wondering of who should be in the kitchen and who should be doing this, that, and the third, when Black women have been doing literally everything for us behind the scenes. It's unbelievable the work that Black women put in to ensure that someone like me can get on this stage and say my piece. it is vital that the work we do with Live in Life Leadership gets promoted. We fund Live in Life Leadership. We fund the people who are going to progress us forward, and most importantly, fund Black women. Ensure that Black women have the resources they need to speak their own piece, to get out there, fund their businesses, fund their music, fund their arts, and fund their soul. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Shannon Turner. I'm the second vice president of the NAACP chapter here, 1134. Please, with your mercy and grace, allow us to make this little change. First off, I want to recognize the Usmans who are here. This one. Oh, I'm sorry. And then I also want to recognize the new CEO for Kitsap Mental Health, Monica Blanchard. With that, I want to go ahead and go into a couple of dinner arrangements right now. If I could have table 1 and 2, go ahead and proceed back to the back room back here to the left to get your dinner. We'll start that dinner process for me. Is that okay? Yeah. Does everybody understand? I know y'all hungry. Yeah. I know you're ready to eat. So we get dinner 1, table 1 and 2. Go on.
Don't be shy. Tables 1 and 2. Let's go get some food.
And thank you for understanding and allowing. This is the first time in 2 years that we've been back together with this. So again, the grace and the flexibility is really, really appreciated.
You want me to do it?
What?
You want me to do tables 1 and 2, then 2 and 4.
Okay.
And then 5 and 6, just like that.
Okay.
So wait a couple minutes and then send 2 and 4.
Okay. If you would like to get up and take a look see, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Are they allowed to get up?
Shannon, can you also remind folks about the silent auction, please? Can you remind folks about the silent auction?
Yeah. Again, I want to remind everybody else, please, this get up, kind of mosey around. We have the silent auction still going on as well. Get up, take a look at some things up here. I'm sure everybody wants to make a bid, get some things down, and because there's some great things up here. And then if I can also have tables 3 and 4. Tables 3 and 4, if you want to go ahead and make your way back to the back there, that's appreciative right now. And again, thank you for being here, but most importantly, thank you for being flexible.
Y'all can go get your food.
Yeah.
Y'all go get your food.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So how is everybody doing tonight? Is everybody okay? Is everyone doing it okay this evening? This afternoon? I don't know anymore.
Right. Yeah, this is kind of all running together.
I know.
Good.
Students were curious because they didn't see their name on the program. Do you still want them to speak about the NCA?
No, we were just going to have those 2 speak right now.
Okay.
Back here and
Okay. No, because I didn't. That wasn't. No one told me. So I told them. After we
Again, tables 1 and 2, and 3 and 4. And again, please make your way up here for our silent auction. Let's get that in before that closes down.
Okay.
yeah.
So they were, because they're like, their parents are here. It's like, can they just like speak now?
Yeah, you know what? You want to have
While they're doing dinner or while they're getting ready for dinner?
Yeah, they can come up and say something.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you got a couple more. You want to say something?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Yeah, thank y'all for having me. All right, go get your. Hey, go get
All right,
your
my man.
Huh?
Oh. You got this?
Yeah, I'll take it. All right. What tables were you at?
I did 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, like you said.
Okay. Tables 5 and 6, please make your way to the dinner area. Hey, glad to have you, man. Glad to have you. Yeah, appreciate you coming out.
So many people black faces.
Yes. Yes. Go ahead. And while we're having dinner, we're going to have a couple more students from the Black Student Union come up and say a few things while we're all getting dinner. So come on, young ladies.
Good evening. My name is Kalia. I'm a senior at Olympic High School, and I'm the BSU president. Black Student Union is extremely important to have in schools and communities. Black Student Union gives Black students and students of color a sense of community in their school, and it gives us a place to feel safe. It's also really fun to just throw events with Black Student Union, and I'm very grateful for Miss Jewel and Miss Karen Ukie Vargas for giving us this opportunity. Hello, my name is Caitlin, and I just graduated from Olympic High School. I was the vice president of BSU, and we're also a part of KidSAP Black Student Union. A favorite memory of mine was when we had the BSU graduation, which was hosted by Miss Jewel and Miss Karen Akuye. And I really enjoyed it because it just kind of like was honoring to Black students that maybe didn't get that throughout high school, and it kind of gave us like a sense of like confidence. So like throughout high school, things might have been hard, but like after high school, we would be able to like go on our own and chase our dreams.
All right, let's give these young ladies a round of applause. Next tables, 6, 7, and 8. Please make your way to the dining area, please. 6, 7, and 8. Okay.
Did you want to grab some food? I'm good. Okay. Did you already get something? Not yet.
Okay. Just slide in and get a picture,
Yeah, exactly.
All right, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
That's right. Thank you. Awesome. Could you get a picture on my phone too?
Tables 9, 10, and 11. Please make your way to the dining area. 9, 10, and 11. Go stand up here.
Sorry. I'm getting picky. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you, Ed. What's your shirt say?
I love
I
it.
need to know.
Did you make that personally?
No, I ordered it.
I was like, whoever designed that shirt is awesome.
Are we selling them here?
Yeah, are we selling it?
No, I didn't even think it was online, so I just ordered it.
Oh man.
Yeah. So how you doing, man? How you doing, big guy?
Doing great.
Campaign's going well?
Yeah. It's just high flying to do everything I can, Yeah, it's been a busy few days, but I'm having fun. So how are you guys doing?
Pretty good. I'm glad to see the banquet moving along, and everybody seems to be having a good time. It's just nice to have people be able to come here and break bread, and
Right.
Seeing people out in person. It's been such a long time. So it's great.
No, really, really fun. I'm so happy to see it's back in person.
Yeah.
Really special. So great work putting it all together.
I appreciate it. Tables 12, 13, 14, and 15. Please make your way to the dining area.
I do have to get going. My friend surprised me with Hamilton tickets.
Oh, okay. Hey, can't pass that.
I have a date.
Cool.
So, let's be in touch and let me know what you need. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'll keep keep at it for legal redress.
Yeah, which we're trying to get somebody to fill your spot. So you know how it is.
I'm
sometimes,
hopeful
but-
Jessica is able
Yeah, I think she can do some of it. You know, but I think she's pretty busy as well. So I mean, hopefully we can get somebody that can kind of stay on top of it. So we've been putting feelers out and see if we can get people to come in. So we'll be all right. We're gonna make it work.
All right.
We're gonna get you on the bigger and better things.
Well, hey, dude, just a different role. You know? Yeah. I don't
Right.
see. Yeah.
I hear you. Good to have some. That's everybody. That's everybody. Yeah. Yeah, that's everybody.
Yes, I was putting a thought on it. I wanted to vote, but it's got chocolate. It does have chocolate. I love it. I didn't know that was right. That I was checking out the now. It all looks amazing. That would be, I'm sure, way more fun than that's why I like what's coming up 26.
Recently, the community of the fast world changes done right. Skilled certified technicians are located in the vacancy needs of any professional location. And now for the Free Smoky to save $15 on any full reservation. Like Free Smoky under link.com/save Step in to see why we can be unchanged for over 1 year. Free Smoky, done fast, done right.
So as the final tables began to make their way back into the room with their wonderful dinners, delicious dinners prepared by our staff here, I want to take an opportunity to thank the staff here at Kitsap Golf and Country Club. They've been our partners in hosting the NAACP here for our Freedom Fund banquets for a number of years. And we appreciate the relationship that we've been able to build and the relationship and the service that they've provided, and thanking our service people. So if you can join me in giving them a round of applause, I really appreciate that. And for those who don't know, I'm Tracy Flood, the past president of the NAACP and the current judge for Bremerton Municipal Court. We appreciate your patience with us today. This is our first banquet that we've been able to have after 2 years of the pandemic. So things have come together very well. The program, as you can see, has the theme in honoring Justice Ketanji Brown Johnson. So we're going to keep with that theme, and I'm going to bring up our U.S. Congressman, Derek Kilmer. And it kind of goes without saying, Congressman Kilmer has been a wonderful partner and supporter of the NAACP in many of our community programs and our community as a whole. When he served here in Washington State, he doorbelled, and I remember him doorbelling my house in Port Orchard when I lived 5 minutes from the ferry and I commuted to Seattle. But he doorbelled with his family, and that really stood out to me because he wanted to connect. He wanted to have conversations. He wanted to find out what our needs were. And that's genuine. That's character. So at this time, I'm bringing up Congressman Kilmer to do, in essence, a honor to Alice Egan's. And when I say that because when I moved here over 30 years ago, I had the pleasure of being in the presence of so many trailblazers who are no longer with us. And oftentimes we don't get to honor them the way that we need to honor them. But I want Miss Phyllis Egan's and Miss Melina Egan's to understand what they meant to the NAACP. And when I contacted Congressman Kilmer's office, he said, through Katie, what is it that you need? I'm here to support. And knowing her, having met her and having worked with her in the community has been one in which words cannot truly express. There's so many things that happen where you read about Martin Luther King Jr. in history books, and children nowadays say, oh, I thought that was a mythical person. But to have sat in the presence of such greatness is something that is indescribable. So this is our way of saying how important Alice Egan's was to the NAACP, how important Loxie Egan's, in which those of you who live in Bremerton know, and those who have been around Bremerton for a while, that there's a street named Loxie Egan's in Bremerton. But how many of you know the history? And inside of the room where we have the dinners is a historical display that Roosevelt Smith put together. And if you got a chance to get to the display down at our historical museum downtown Bremerton, it was even bigger. And the history, the richness of our culture in Bremerton is great. And it must not be forgotten. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up Congressman Kilmer to make this presentation and to let our community know how important this trailblazer was to our organization as the NAACP.
Thank you, Your Honor. Let's give it up for Tracy Flood. First of all, I want to apologize. I misunderstood the rules of the silent auction. I thought it was like The Price is Right, where you're supposed to guess the actual retail value without going over. So I think I bought everything. Sorry, everybody. It's great to be with you to honor some amazing women, some amazing community partners. I am so impressed with the young people who spoke earlier. Can we give it up for them one more time? It's already been a great night. Judge Ferguson Brown was incredibly inspiring. The two women who sang reminded me how little talent I have. Thank you for that. But most importantly, I'm just grateful for the NAACP and all of the fantastic work that they do in this community. Listen, it's not breaking news that the last several years have been really tough. We have been through a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic. We've been through incredible economic disruption. We have been through a reckoning in this country about the work that we have to do to address systemic and institutional racism. I will tell you, it is something that I carry with me every day when I go to work in our nation's capital. And then there are moments that really stand out. One of the most powerful moments I've had in this job was standing on the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama, with my late colleague, John Lewis, on the 50th anniversary of Bloody Sunday, where 5 decades earlier, more than 600 people were beaten and tear gassed, simply advocating for their basic right to vote. And as I stood there that day, the pain of those stories also turned to hope as I watched the motorcade of America's first African-American president cross that very same bridge. That was a pretty powerful image. Later, President Obama said that despite how far we've come, we still have far to go as a nation. And we know that that is true. He said, we know the march is not yet over, the race is not yet won, and that reaching that blessed destination where we are judged by the content of our character requires admitting as such. President Obama frequently quoted Dr. King in saying that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. But the arc doesn't bend on its own. It bends because of the work of the NAACP. It bends because of the work of the people in this room. It bends because of the people who do that vital work, including Alice Egan's, who did the work, on issue after issue. We know we have work to do. We have work to do when the U.S. Supreme Court invalidated a portion of the Voting Rights Act, and now you have state after state erecting barriers to the ballot box. And it's why we need to pass a new Voting Rights Act, to put the teeth back into the Voting Rights Act. We know we have work to do when families are torn apart by the failure to modernize our immigration system. We've got work to do. We've got work to do when we know that education is the door to economic opportunity, and yet that door is not open to enough of our young people. We know that too many people live in poverty, and that our nation still fails to embrace a very simple ethic of equal pay for equal work. We've got work to do. And the work that was done, the legacy of Alice Egan's was doing that work. As Judge Ferguson Brown said, she was a supreme Black woman. She, along with other community activists, James and Lillian Walker and Al and Hazel Colvin, founded the Kitsap chapter of the NAACP. Alice was a pillar of the community. During her 70 years in Kitsap County, Alice took on many leadership roles, including PTA president when her children attended school in Bremerton, president of the local NAACP chapter, and of the Washington State United Christian Church Ushers. She worked with Diane Robinson to help found the Black Historical Society of Kitsap County and was an active member of the YWCA, the Bremerton Central Lady Lions, and the Kitsap County Historical Society. Members of our community have called her the mother of the community. They called her a go-getter. They called her a mentor, an activist, stalwart, and full of endless energy. And it is to honor that legacy and to celebrate tonight's festivities that I submitted into the congressional record a letter honoring the life and the legacy of Alice Egan's. And I will present this to Tracy, and we will be presenting a copy to Alice's family as well to honor her extraordinary legacy to this community. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, you're next.
All right. Thank you, Judge Flood. So next, I'm going to ask Andre Henderson to come up to remember the community members that we have lost. Andre, are you? All right.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andre Henderson, and I am the first VP of the NAACP, Chapter 1134. And for my portion of the program tonight, we want to remember some people who should never be forgotten, simply because of, the lives they led and the roles and what they meant to the success and longevity of the NAACP. But I'll just start by saying a little bit, as the mayor spoke earlier, the NAACP was established in 1909 in New York City by Black and white activists, partially in response to violence against the African-American community at the time. In the organization's early times, its anti-lynching campaign was a focus of its agenda. And during the civil rights era in the 1950s and 60s, the group won major legal victories. And as of present times, the NAACP has grown to more than 2,200 branches and over 500,000 members worldwide. Today, the NAACP is focused on such issues as inequality in jobs, education, healthcare, and the criminal justice system, as well as protecting voting rights. And the group has also pushed for the removal of Confederate flags and statues from public property. But whether we stood to build movement through the civil rights era or to advocate and educate for our critical needs of our communities today, one thing that has stood sure and true has been the commitment and dedication to and from the communities we serve. These are communities and community members that build our ranks, empower our movements, and have not been silent when it's time to call out for justice and equality. Our community members make up our activists, our leaders, our volunteers, our foundation, and our most vulnerable in need of a fighting chance to build self-empowerment, find opportunity, and to be met with integrity and fair play. It is the community that has been the heart and the backbone of our fight. And without them, we are no one and we have no purpose. At this time, we want to take a moment to honor the lives of those community members that we have lost in recent years, whether due to the devastating COVID-19 pandemic that has touched so many lives and families, or by other cause. We have the names of some of those community members who have passed on, but we want to acknowledge that although we cannot at this time capture every name or know the full loss of our community, we want to honor the memories of each and every person who is no longer with us. You are loved, you are remembered, and you're missed. And also at this time, I want to Make special mention of Mr. Pastel Green, who was a lifetime honorary member of the NAACP. And I just want to read a portion of his obituary in his recent passing. In loving memory of Pastel Green, 9/19/1938, 8/9/2020. A loving husband, father, grandpa, Navy veteran, and pillar of the Kitsap County community. Pastel gave numerous hours of his time, actively involved and lifetime member in the NAACP, lifetime American Legion member, over a 25-year span coaching ball teams in Kitsap County with the Sheridan and East Bremerton Pee Wees and with the Central Kitsap Babe Ruth League. He was a Vietnam War veteran and proud plank owner as a crew member of the CVAN 65 USS Enterprise during his military service until honorably discharged. Pastel was an avid lover of games as a hobby, whether it was playing softball with the Bremerton Senior Softball League or playing cards, especially spades. Bonding as a family over tournaments, playing dominoes, cribbage, and ping pong with family and friends, both at home and at the Bremerton Senior Center. So thank you, Mr. Pastel Green, for your life, for your service and your commitment. And I just want to say, Mr. Pastel sounds like somebody I could have got with, especially on that space table. Yeah. But anyway, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, I've got a couple of announcements before we have our next musical interlude. One is that our silent auction table is still open. We've extended it till 7 o'clock. So please do take a moment to take a look at the items. It looks like the books are a hot item. I've seen a couple of folks competing, and actually it's on. But let me do my spiel first. But anyway, what I really want to highlight is that we have one donation in particular it's the Macomber Family Suite. Let me see here. Sorry about that. So this suite is for 16 seats and 7 parking passes. So this is a big deal, for a Sounders game. So please take a look. I mean, if you're looking out to watch sports, this is a great opportunity to do so. So please, do take it when you get the chance. Take a look. We really appreciate your support. And then with that, so Mr. Ives, you can go ahead and take a look and put your name in for that suite. I'd like to go ahead and bring up the Chapmans for our next musical performance. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
Yes. Okay, I lied. I have one more announcement. So hopefully after having that wonderful dinner, you're really interested in dessert. So as a reminder, there are envelopes at your table. So please put in cash. If you want to pay by credit card, please put so on the piece of paper in there. My table is already strategizing, so you better beware. Table 3 is going to get the first dessert. So please take the next few minutes as well to think about what dessert you want. We have a great variety. And don't forget, thank you so much. Thank you.
I love you, Lord, for your mercy never failed me all my days,
I've been held in your hands from the moment that I wake up till I lay my head. Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. So my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands from the moment that I wake up until I lay my head. Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. So my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest night. You are close like no other. I've known you as a father. I've known you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God. Yes, 'cause all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest night. You are close like no other. I've known you as a father. I've known you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God. Oh, all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Oh, all my life you have been faithful. Yes, all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me.
With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything, oh Lord. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything, oh Lord. Your goodness is running after me. 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 With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything, oh Lord. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything, oh Lord. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
Thank you. How about a round of applause for our music? Again, everyone, my name is Shannon Turner. I'm the second vice president of the NAACP Chapter 1134. To keep everything moving along, one thing I wanted to announce real quick is the fact that the dessert dash will be closing in the next 5 minutes. My lovely wife, Danielle, and her assistant, Sierra, will be coming around to collect the envelopes. So please, if you need to go back to that delicious table to take that final look, go ahead and do it now. Because in 5 minutes, when they come by and collect that envelope, it's all said and done. So again, make sure that you get that in there for the dessert dash. And at this point, what I'd like to do is let you guys know that one thing that I do at the NAACP is the community outreach program. And when I say that, it means a lot. Because right now, when you look inside this room, literally, everyone, take a look inside this room. Look at who you are with inside this room. Because this is community. This is what community represents. This is what community is about. So give yourselves a round of applause for being here. You know, 7 months ago, I didn't think I would be here because I was on my way to Ohio, a transition point. But things happen. And
You said no.
oh, I know you did. Y'all said no. Please don't go. But you know what? My mama had these words to say. She said, Shannon, don't come to Ohio because your work is not done here in Washington. Those words meant a lot. It said a lot. Very profound. So it's very interesting because when you think about it, tonight, Black women are supreme. And when you look at community, who stands out in your community? Black women. The voice among voices. That's where it starts. That's where I got my drive. That's where I got my desire to stay put in community because of my mom. Judge Flood, where are you? Can you please stand? Teresa McDermott, where are you? Please stand. I can't tell you the impact that you two have had on my life. Thank you. Your voice, your representation, your education, your law, your community desire has got me where I am today. That has allowed me to step up as a Black male to understand it's not just me, it's behind me, who's in front of me that lays that groundwork. And you two have honored me with that privilege. Thank you. They taught me that community is what represents. They taught me that community is the desire. They taught me as far as your community goes, that's where everybody else is because it matters. It's the family foundation, it's the family traditions that are in place. It has to go back to that. It has to be family. And the voice. The voice. That's what stands out. So for myself, I take that and I take it to a different level because I go around and I make sure that everyone is represented. Honestly, truthfully represented. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Those words are more precious today than anything else. And it goes back to community. That's what this is. Look around. Who's here? Look at who's here. Look at who you're sitting with. And look at who is representing who. You guys are my community. I love you. I treasure you. I honor you. And I thank you for being here. You know why? Because Black women are supreme, and that is our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shannon. So our next speaker is not only one of the most supreme Black women I know, she is one of the most supreme women that I know. And she needs no introduction. We all know her, but I would like to welcome up next Judge Tracy Flood to give some words. Judge Flood, please.
Good evening. I consider it an honor to stand before you this evening as the past president and as the current Bremerton Municipal Court Judge. I want to take an opportunity to acknowledge a couple in the room, and that is Jackie Curry and TC Curry. I started out at OC while I was still on active duty. And that's how long that I know Jackie Curry has been also at Olympic College. And TC Curry. Such a quiet, kind spirit that often goes unnoticed, but they do a lot in our community. I didn't know this until I saw a picture of them coaching or refereeing sports. And I thought, wow, okay, that's so cool. But there's so many in our community that have done so many things. And Pastor and First Lady Houston, thank you for being here. It's much appreciated. So I don't take any of these relationships lightly, but I just want to give a few kind words and tips. Growing up in Chicago, I went to Lane Tech High School. And Lane Tech was and is to this day considered one of the top 25 national high schools in the US. And I graduated at 16. And Daryl Riley and I grew up in the same neighborhood after my father moved us from 1270 South St. Louis. And I remember that address to this day. I was in a recent setting where the question was asked, when did you first recognize poverty? When did you first recognize challenges? And where were you? And that address, 1270 South St. Louis, came to mind. But now when you go to that neighborhood, it's been gentrified. And there's nowhere that you see the building that I grew up in up till the second grade. It's no longer there. There's no trace of it. And then I recall that a part of testing for me and understanding the US Constitution was memorizing the preamble to the Constitution. And I often quote it in my head. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. And you ask yourself, what does this mean today? Where are our children today in learning history, in learning the US Constitution, in learning the preamble and what it really means? And as a judge, I consider it to be an extension of me to ensure that I continue to work with our young people to educate them about the justice system. All aspects of the justice system. So then you ask, what is justice? What is justice? And I won't answer that for you because I want you to think about what it means to you. But I'll talk about a few things that may fall under that definition. And I'll use myself as an example. I won my campaign on November 2nd of 2021. Justice. But more importantly, voting power. Our community pulled together and their voices was heard. So many people said, this is the first time I voted. I registered to vote because I knew someone on the ballot. This is 2021. You ask yourself, was there justice when the Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act? Just a question. But I say to you, think about justice. Can we truly accomplish that when we're so divided? How can we come together to be stronger as a community, as a nation? But how can we here in Bremerton and in Kitsap County stand out to show other communities that we can come together? We can make a difference. There are many NAACPs around that will not interact with law enforcement, that don't trust law enforcement. But for the last 5 years, Sheriff Giese has participated with us outside of the pandemic in a partnership that we have had with Olympic College in the Fireside Bistro to have the hard conversations, to ask the questions, to break bread, to build relationships. And even that is often criticized by those that say, well, they're liberals or, wanting to do all of these things. But it's not about them versus us, us versus them. It's about us as a community. I pondered, what would I say? There's so much to say. But I want to leave you with those nuggets. And I also want to say that my life has truly been blessed. I got to sit with Al Colvin, a Tuskegee Airman. In my days when I came here, I was 19, 20. So everything that I do to honor those that have come before me. It's not about me. This is bigger than me. And as long as that's the focus, I will continue to do my service to my community, because as a judge, I'm a servant, a public servant. It's not about me. Thank you.
All right, just want to let y'all know that the silent auction has closed. So if you believe that you were the last person, for each item, just know that our treasurer team is going to come find you and ask you for your money. Thank you.
All right. I hope everybody is having a great time. Again, it's just wonderful to see so many beautiful, smiling faces here today. Again, it's been a long time coming, so I'm happy to be here with you, and I'm happy to be able to, have some camaraderie and just break bread with you. So, again, give yourselves a round of applause for just being here tonight. All right. So now we will get into the main attraction here. Miss Katara Johnson-Jones. She's going to be our keynote speaker for tonight. Katara, she has been a speaker trainer for state agencies. She's a veteran. Also serves as the Chief Human Resources Officer at the second largest behavioral health organization in Inland Northwest. And with no further ado, Miss Katara Johnson-Jones.
All right, some of you are like, where's Jet? Black women are supreme. We do that too. Yes. I like to call those my hats. I have so many of them. They come in many colors. My name is Katara Johnson-Jones. It's really Katara Sadawi. It's Swahili. It means sword proud. When my mother, she had me in Chicago, her friends were African, and Katara is what they gave her, Sadawi, and it's sword proud. And my mom put proud second because, she said, the sword is closely related to the word of God. And she said, and when I gave you that name, I knew you would speak. See, I thought it meant that I was going to be a prize fighter. I did, and on the south side of Chicago, trust me when I say you need those skills. You do. But Katara Sadawi was sword proud, so I would speak boldly the word of God. What is the word of God? It is the truth. And that's the gospel. But we're not here to talk about that, are we? At least not yet. Not yet. Most people know me about being real. They say, Katara, you keep it real. And I'm like, I don't know any other way to be. I don't. Tonight, the black women are supreme. And I had to look it up because I was like, girl, I'm with 4-star generals. I can't be on nothing to say supreme. You got to re-look at that. She said, no, Katara, it's not like that. She said, white people be there too. Police officers will be there too. I was like, good girl, I don't know. Man, the Pentagon was here in May. I don't know if I can do that. But I'm grateful that she sat down and took the moment to explain to me the intent behind that. I see a lot of young people here, and I'm grateful that you are here. And I need you to pay close attention because everything I've done tonight so far has been intentional, including my hair. Just saying. Our kids need to see the judges. They need to see supreme leaders that look like them. But we don't have to stop there, but they need to see that because it is hard to be what you have never seen before. I thought that success would be a hairdresser because that's what I knew. And don't get me wrong, hairdressers, you know in the Black community, hairdresser, you could be the mayor. You may not know your name, but if you're a hairdresser, oh, the supreme women, we know your name. We know exactly where you live. Oh yeah, on 13th, who did that? And for other people who are outside the community, just so you know, you're gonna get a DEI lesson today, that diversity, equity, and inclusion, do not ask. Because we're not gonna tell you. I love this. Black women are supreme. Does it mean that other women are not? No. But sometimes we need to hear it because the society tells us that you're not supreme. Society says you don't belong. How do I know this? Because we're talking about first tonight. We're talking about 2022 with the first Supreme Court justice that happens to look like me. 2022. It's not a bash on anybody. It's just that it's late. It wasn't that Black women could not do it or did not have the credentials. We were late. When we say Black women supreme, it's not saying that white women aren't. Because supreme means the highest levels of leadership. Black women are supreme. Because these young ladies need to know this. So that when you walk into that space where you are the first, when things are here and it's so close and you got to squeeze your way through it, and then somebody closes it back up. Well, not because I don't like you necessarily, it's just because we're used to it. Our muscle memory says stand together. And when you look at the wall and every person on the corporate wall are white males, you think that you don't belong. How many people used to watch TV when they said, one of these things just don't belong here? Now it's time to play our game. Because we were taught early when things are different, they don't belong. When things are different, they don't belong. That's not true. Well, your personality really doesn't fit here, Katara. Katara is not the name of a C-suite leader. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. See, it means something when you look at the corporate wall and the professional hair stops here and it's straight and it swings. And then when you're already set apart and then you go into the store and even your hair products are segregated. Y'all don't hear me. So people say, don't say this about this group, but the hair products are really segregated. Seriously, go to Walmart, you'll see it. I mean, it's convenient sometimes because I don't have to go through all the other shampoos, but you know, do we really have to segregate the hair products? It's just hair, sometimes. But when we think about Black women being supreme, I don't want anybody to feel left out in here. But we have to say this. We have to say it until we believe it. We have to say it until we see it. We have to say it until it is manifested into reality. I had a supreme leader growing up. Her name was Diane Henry. That was my mother. That supreme leader was able to make decisions whether I feed my kids or keep the lights on. See, those type of thought processes helps you to be able to prioritize in different situations. I remember when the economic downturn happened in, was it 2008, 2009? and my department at the community college I was leading, he said, "Oh, the budget is gone. We don't have a budget." I was like, whew, I was flourishing. And I was like, how? I was like, when you're not used to having anything, you get creative. You give me 4 women with some skills, I tell you, we will make our own budget. Because a supreme leader doesn't need a table for anybody to give it to me, because I'll build my own. How do I know this? Because I believed it is possible, because I've seen it. My mother had 13 kids: Kanisha, Katara, Lashana, Jamie, Elizabeth, Crystal, James, Naomi, Stephen, Daniel, Tisha, Timothy, and Joseph. She almost had a rap song going down to dinner. Put a beat on that. But for some reason, my mom was a supreme leader. She realized, you know, there were some times that she was tired, and then a supreme leader thinks. A supreme leader teaches other people how to move forward. See, in Africa, they learned something. They had sent the boys to school to be young men, and they educated them, and they just stayed with the men. But they noticed something: when they sent girls to school, the whole tribe started learning, because they didn't just go in and get a little bit for themselves. They came back and they taught somebody else, 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 because that's what supreme leaders do. So for all of you and you judges, if the kids don't see you, you ain't doing it right. Because I need to see you to know that it's possible, supreme leaders. Yes. See, my mom was a supreme leader, and she said, I have 13 people here. You know what? Kanisha, Katara, Lashana, Jamie, Elizabeth, Crystal, James, Naomi, Stephen, Darren, Tisha, Timothy, and Joseph. Kanisha, you're going to handle this, and Katara, you will handle that. Oh, I had leadership skills so early. See, I'm going to do the dishes, but you know what? I don't want to do the dishes all by myself. Hey, Lashonda, you know what? You're really smart. But if you want to do the dishes, you want to get some food, you want to get some extra candy, I'm going to put in a good word for you, girl. Let me show you how to do that. Isn't that fun? No, Jamie, you come here too. Let's see who can wash the dishes the fastest. Oh, no. My sister and I used to coach some good things, and we would cheer our teams on as they finished the job, and we were not exhausted. My mother, we lived in this house on the south side of Chicago. My mom wanted a house. Now, I'm telling you, we got the house. We didn't live in the projects, but we had a house. But I don't know if we were supposed to be living in the house. I remember we didn't have a front door lock. We had a stick that was at the bottom of the door, and it went up to the 4th step, and we slid it down, and that's how we locked the door. There was times that it would rain, and it would rain from the outside, and it would rain through the roof, and it would leak all the way through the house. And we would have the little buckets and pots and pans filling up and catching this water. I remember the doors wasn't even on the hinges. I remember the dry rotted steps that one day actually collapsed when the mailman came. And it was so funny because when the porch and stuff collapsed, he would walk around and he'd stand up and he'd knock on the door, just kind of. My mom was a praying woman. You know, my mama prayed. I'm telling you, she would pray, and sometimes I'll just hear her singing. I would just hear her sing. I'm pressing on the upward way. New heights I'm gaining every day. Lord, still I pray as heavenward bound. I don't need no record deal, but I'm just saying, I would hear her. All y'all young people that don't want to hear your mom, I'm telling you, I used to be that way too, and I'm telling you, my mama just left. Now when my mama picked up that phone, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Because I know what supreme leaders do. They sacrifice. They sacrifice. Oh no, I'm not hungry. Go ahead, baby, eat that. My mom would pray and teach us how to pray. You don't understand what it feels like to pray for just a pack of paper. Only to go to school for my teacher to say, oh my gosh, this paper. She didn't know that I had to use syrup. Honey, that does not work. It doesn't hold newspaper articles. It was called current events. It doesn't work. My mom said, well, use the flour and the water. That ain't nothing but paste. It is not paste, Mom. It did not stick. It was times we're going to field trip and you know they could get the little lunch. My mom would get, one time she gave us the hot dog and it was cold and I'm like, what are you doing? She said, it's not hot dog ain't nothing but bologna rolled up. For the longest time I thought the hot dog was nothing but bologna rolled up. You know what? It's perspective. Supreme leaders have to have the view, you know. You have to be able to see what's not there. You have to be able to see what's not there. You have to. Because like I was saying earlier, when muscle memory is used to standing side by side and you're trying to get through and you're trying to get through and then finally you done hit it enough and so there's a little space and you kind of get yourself in there with that degree, your education, your talent. Muscle memory trying to squeeze you back out. What is that? Squeeze. Write an essay. These are essay questions. Complete that and you can get through the job. Yeah. You have to take this test, even though you got it, you had your education in another country, start all over again here. No, y'all don't hear me. I'm going to time you on this test, not understanding that I have to listen to this, read this in the formal register of English. I have to learn it, translate it to my native tongue, and then I have to translate the answer, and then I have to write the answer down while I'm translating, and you think that it takes the same amount of time. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I'm telling you this, but I also told this to military leaders recently. Because some people said, everybody has an equal chance, it's equal. I said, no, we have an equal system, but it's not equitable. What do you mean? Well, you go to kindergarten. Every person got to be 5 years old, got to live in the neighborhood, and you have to have your shots, right? But nobody says that some of the parents had time to read to them. That they had preschool, that they went on vacations and family trips. See, I know what it feels like when the church took me to Great Escape. Why? Because in school they said, write about your summer vacation. As soon as we went back to school, but we never had a vacation. My mom couldn't afford to take a vacation. So you know what I would do? I'm telling you, I wrote that Great Escape story till I was in high school every time I came back. When I wanted to go to McDonald's, she said, what we got to do at McDonald's tonight? I'm like, yay! Now cut the French fries really small. I'm like, wait, what? Cut the potatoes real small. My mom taught me something in those moments. She taught me to never give up. To be a supreme leader. Most people make judgments about gangs. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, and by middle school, yes, I jump around people. I do that. If I miss something, I'm going to do a Q&A at the end, and you all tell me what I missed, and I'll finish it up. But I grew up on the south side of Chicago. Gangs chased me home every single day. Every single day. Until, I was born with a heart murmur. And my mom, the doctor told my mom she'll never be able to run. And so here I am. I'm jumping fences. I am running for my life, literally on the south side of Chicago. Running just to get out of school. So I joined the track team. I won MVP of that track team. This is not a joke, I did. The gang members chase me home every day, and kids will make fun of me because my clothes wasn't right. They ain't laughing now. I had a gap in my teeth, and society says when you have a gap in your teeth that it's not nice, it's not right. They used to make fun of me. They say your teeth look like the back of a claw hammer. I used to laugh, but you know what? I thought about it. It was all I had. My mom said, Katara, you're beautiful, but my hair wasn't beautiful on TV. My hair wasn't beautiful. Everybody's hair was flowing, and my stuff could not do that. No matter how I tried. My sisters and I used to put pillowcases on our head. We're like, what? It's all right. I would not even go outside without a wig on my head or some type of weave. Whew, I'm so glad to be liberated. I'm telling you, I just got set free about 5 years ago. I was set free that I realized that I don't have to put these chemicals and burn my scalp to fit in at the C-suite level. I don't have to do that because I'm a supreme leader now, and I understand that. But I'm gonna go back to high school. The gangs chase me home every day, and so I heard if you can't beat them, what? Join them. That's exactly what I did. My mom, she told me something before I left home. She said, Katara, if she said there's 3 types of people in the world. Those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who wondered what happened. What type of person are you? And I was thinking, I don't know. She said, Katara, whatever you do, I want you to be your best. If you're a C student, be the best C student. If you're a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper. But whatever it is, you do your best. So I'm like, okay, I'm on the street. I joined the gang because I couldn't help. I joined the gang. They beat me, chased me. I joined the gang, so I needed to be a leader. Before I know it, at 16 years old, I was the first lady of the Black Disciple Street Gang, running so many thousands of young teens on the south side of Chicago. I was a supreme leader, just not in the right direction. The same voice that I have right now was used in a negative way. But what would have happened if I had just flood? What would have happened if I knew you existed? What if I knew that Black women could be supreme leaders? What if I knew it? My mom told me, but I didn't see it. So you young people have no excuse. You see it. And if you don't see it, be it. If you don't see it, be it. I am telling you that it's possible. Why? Because here I am at this point. Most of the gang members dropped out of school, but I wasn't dropping out of school. I told the gang members, I don't know what you're doing, but I got to go to school. And how you gonna be a gangster if you ain't in school? We got to know what we're doing. Got to know the math, right? Yes, Katara had all the Black disciples right up at the school. I said, what if the other gang take over? What are we gonna do? They was like, right. I said, we gotta protect it. There I was in school. Get my math, double period math class. College preparatory math program. I was the only gangster on student government and in the band. Yeah, I'm serious. I graduated from Inglewood High School. 620 freshmen started with me. Only 114 graduated. Those aren't statistics. They're sad. They're sad, but we allow this to happen in America. And then I watch television and something happens in another country and everybody pours out. And I'm like, oh my goodness. When people say Black Lives Matter, you're offended. But we're trying to show you it does. But you don't see it. I'm not talking about an organization. I'm talking about these young people. That's what I'm talking about. I needed somebody who could see the supreme leader in me. And you know who that was, besides my mom? It was the guy who sold fruit on the corner of 62nd, right before the Dan Ryan. I would come from school and he would say, hey, how you doing in school? And I would tell him about school and he'd say, you're really smart. Why'd I see you with these people? I was like, well, he said, you want to make some money? Sure. So he would have fruit, and I would work at that fruit stand, and I would help him. But after a while, it was hard to do that. He was gone. Where did I go? To the gang members. I made $1,100 every 45 minutes. I was good at math. After a while, I started teaching young girls that are in a gang, don't sell your body, don't become a victim of human trafficking. But, I would teach them because all of the stuff that my mom taught me was in my head. And I couldn't be the best a gang member without teaching the things that were inside of my head when my mom taught me. It didn't go anywhere. The gang members did not like me telling girls not to be victims of human trafficking. Let's just say they pulled me up outside of my house. They made me put my hands on the fence, and they beat it 3 times with a bat for love, life, and loyalty. To remember to keep my mouth shut. And I remember them beating my hand once, the second time, the third time. And I didn't cry because my son, my oldest son, who I had out of Me Too, that's the nicest way to say it tonight. Because a lot of supreme leaders go through a lot of stuff that you will never know, because we are taught to be strong Black women. Black women often don't even look at our behavioral health, our mental health. We're taking care of everybody else. That's why we're called the matriarch in our culture. The moms hold it down, and they beat my hand with a bat, and I'm out here on the street. They won't take me to the hospital. And I was like, they said, why she ain't crying, man? She thug, she gangster. It wasn't that. It was my 18-month-old son was looking at me out the window. I didn't want him to know that that was happening to me. I kept going to school, My right hand, was broken, and I was too gangster to go to physical therapy. So now I'm serious. I'm 44, and my finger don't even go up. I was like, God is so, he has a sense of humor. I can't even be in a gang because I can't even put my fingers up to be a part of it. He was like, you're not going back there. I'm going to make sure. Afterwards, I said, I want to change my life. I want to go somewhere else. But I couldn't. Because where was mommy getting the money from to get us to a new house? She had 13 kids. I could either keep selling drugs to get this money, or I could sell my body. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go to school. It just didn't seem like there were any options. But my mom taught me how to pray. I didn't know how I was going to get out of the gang, but I kept going because in Chicago, the only way out is to die out. But the gangsters do respect religion. If you say you gave your life to God, they better not catch you on the street no more, or they'll kill you. And that's not a joke. And I remember wanting to get out, and I was walking down the street one day, and this young lady had, her name was Carol. She was walking with me. She too was 16. She had a baby when she was 12. Her mom was on drugs. And she was walking down the street. She was selling aspirin, and they were about to kill her for selling aspirin because I became the first lady of the Black Disciples, and they told me to beat up my best friend who helped me survive all that time on the street. I didn't want to do it. Carol, I told her to stay out of the neighborhood. She didn't stay out. I'm talking to all of y'all, but I'm also talking to you young people. So I can tell you at the same time to make good decisions. But just because you make a bad one doesn't mean that you have to be stuck in it. Carol, I told Carol, stay down. All the girls went to go jump on Carol. I told her to stay down. And she said, KT, my heart don't pump no Kool-Aid. Let me up. And I was like, that meant she wasn't afraid. And I was like, girl. My mom in my head again, girls better be a live coward than a dead hero. Stay down. My mom was like Rice Krispies. There's always wise little things always coming out. They never came out on the same place, but they were all wise, They made sense later. Carol, I did the only thing I could think to do, and I said, Fred! That meant the police were coming. Everybody took off running. And they was like, no, it's not. And I'm like, oh. By this time, Carol had grabbed a bottle, and she took off running, and all the girls turned her back, and we were all dressed alike. And out of all the people to stab out there, who did she stab? Me. That's where this line came from. And then the girls were taught to die for me, so they went to pull her off. And when they did, the bottle stuck here. So over here, all these holes, these was where the blood was. And they pulled her off, blood squirting everywhere. And I took my shirt off right on the street, and I put it on my neck, and I'm starting to shake. I'm like, will you give me a ride to the hospital? And the same gangsters that was there said, folks, you ain't gonna be bleeding in my leg. My life wasn't as valuable as the interior of their car. And it was in that moment when they were taking me to the hospital. You see this room? This is kind of like the emergency room in Chicago. Unless you're bleeding with gunshot wounds and stuff, you're really not seen. And I was stabbed. And I'm sitting here, and they tried to call my mom, and I was like, I don't want her down here. That supreme leader, you all need to get a supreme leader, because the supreme leader is going to tell you the truth. A supreme leader is going to be honest, and you might not like it at first, but you know it's right. That's what a supreme leader will do. And just because some of you may not be what the world considers a supreme leader, you have generations that you can be teach and bring out supreme leaders that will be you in that space. Because everything you tell these young people, trust me, they hear it. They're like the network on Verizon commercials. You talk to them, they have a whole network. And believe it or not, the words come out of their mouths later. But I thought that was the end. They called my mom up there. I didn't know it was because I was dying. I'd lost so much blood. And they didn't get me in there. My mom was a praying supreme leader, so I said, Mom, just get me out of here. I'm not gonna die up in this waiting room. Just take me to go get some peroxide. Because I was 16 and smart and leading thousands of people. I said, take me to get some peroxide. I had no money on me. I'm bleeding. And my mom, her tears are just filled in the wells of her eyes. She takes me over there to the gas station, but she only has food stamps. So we have to break the food stamps because we have to go each time to go buy a chip. And so I'm just thinking, as I'm dying here, that my mother, my family is not going to eat the rest of this month because of me making a bad decision. My mama prayed, so we finally got that little thing of peroxide, and I said, Mommy, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna lay down and I'm gonna call you in the morning. My mom gave me this look, and she knew I wasn't gonna listen to her at first. And she said, okay. She said, but I tell you what, let me pray real quick. She said, if you give me one chance, and we go in this hospital, if they call your name, they're gonna call your name when you get there. I'm like, Mom, we've been sitting out there for hours, they're not calling my name. She said, trust me, they're gonna call your name. As soon as we get to the hospital, we're gonna walk through the door and they're gonna call your name. And I was like, fine. She was like, in Jesus' name. My mom was praying, so my mom don't pray like this, Lord, help us, Jesus. She's like, in the name of Jesus. Lord, you said that if you gave me an opportunity, I would teach my daughter. I did this, Lord. Have mercy. We walk inside the hospital, and they said, Katara McKinney. My mom was... They end up taking me to Cook County Hospital, putting a plastic vein, to connect it, because my artery was severed. And I knew in that moment, I said, I have to do something different. I have to do something different. And I will tell you, I didn't graduate in the honors division. I graduated right under it. I will tell you that after that, I ended up going to college. I wasn't all that great at first. I was really smart, but I was partying. And my mom one day told me when I was failing out of college, I passed all my classes, but my mom was like, you're still hard, because I'm still rough around the edges. And she said, won't you join the Army? I was like, join the Army? She said, oh, you're right, because you ain't tough enough to join the Army. My mama knew me better than myself. She never told us anything negative. She always spoke life to us. And she said, I said, Mom, we ain't got no money, we poor. She said, that may be a fact, but it's not true. You are not poor. You are not broke. You have this right here. God has given it to you. Go get it. And I was like, okay, Mom. I joined the Army, became a nuclear chemical biological specialist. I did 5.5 years in the United States Army. I'm a 90% service-connected veteran. I have a master's in organizational leadership and management. I have a bachelor's in workforce education and development. I've been listed as the top 20 business leaders under 40 in the Northwest. I've also been able to debate at the United Nations. I've been able to go on to, in May, the United States Air Force and Space Force, I created a curriculum called Community, building inclusive community to bring people together. And I was surprised because they said, well, we want to do work with you. They approved my curriculum, and in May, the United States Air Force cybersecurity area out of the Pentagon sent 30 airmen and guardians from the National Air and Space Center, from Germany, from UK, all over to have 2 days of training by me. I sit at tables as an AMC civic leader today. So Fairchild chose me to Air Force Base to be represented at the 18th Air Force, which oversees many bases. And now I'm an AMC civic leader above that, all of transportation, working with General Minahan, a 4-star general, and able to go and speak on behalf of diversity and inclusion and leadership. See, your past adds definition. It doesn't define who you are. And I've sat at the table as a C-suite leader, the first African-American in my organization to serve in a C-suite position or any administrative position in 40-something years. And it was hard. It was hard coming through and getting pushed out. Hard going through and then getting pushed out. But don't let anybody else's prejudice become your problem. Because see, I learned something. It's a new verb I started this year, and I told a new verb. It's called to katanji. I katanji right on through it. Yes, I did. See, a lot of us black folks, black women too, mainly black women, when we watch Ketanji in an interview, people's like, well, what are you cheering for? Because we knew the incredible amount of strength that it takes to do this. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I don't read children's books. I know some of the times when I looked at the questions that were being asked and she was responding, I was like, whoo, you earned that, girl. You earned that, because by then, I don't know if I could have katanji'd in that moment. But I've learned to katanji. I used to utilize my professional voice like this, but now I've found my own. I stopped wearing wigs and my hats all the time because, and I did this summer, stood on the stage with on Fairchild, because I need leaders to know that this is professional. Because if I don't, you all have a hard time. That's why Michelle Obama had to go to the White House with the braids. That's why she had to do that. She understands. If we don't show up and people see what professionalism is, we have to redefine those images. You Google professional online and get some stock photos. It's all people around one white man. I cannot make this up. I was trying to get stock photos for my training program. We need to start doing this. We need to talk to our young people. We need to encourage each other. And not just black people, white people too. You know what my boss told me when I came in with a shaved head one day? He looked at me, he said, yes, more of that. He didn't look directly at me, that way HR doesn't get him. Yes. When other people said, what part of Africa are you from? I was like, oh, Southside Chicago. Black women are supreme. Black women are leaders. Black women can share when they're having struggles, because for some reason people think that you are aggressive when you have feelings or when people cut you off. See, the first female vice president. People say, well, oh, it's not about politics. I'm gonna tell you what it was about. It was because Black women have been the imperfect victim for years. We will say something and people would cut us off. White women would cut us off and we couldn't say anything. See, it happened in slavery. Black women would have to stand in the kitchen and things would happen. They would say things and they couldn't do anything. They get slapped in the face. They had to stand there and do nothing. They could not speak. Now, you go in a meeting and someone cuts you off and where you're speaking, you're not even done. You took a breath and you say something, and depending on who's in the room, the white woman starts crying, oh my God, it was a tragedy. And you say, excuse me, I was speaking. See, we never had that. I didn't have that. I never was empowered to set professional boundaries for myself, right? And then Kamala gets on the debate, and then she gets interrupted, and she says, I was speaking. I was speaking. And I was speaking became I am speaking. And you don't have to like it, but I'm a Katanji right on through it. I am speaking. And you know what happens when the tears come in there? They say, you should be the bigger person. What? You should be the bigger person. And this is why a lot of Black women have a lot of behavioral health issues, because we can't even speak, because you become the angry Black woman for just setting boundaries. But set them anyway. Set them anyway. And when I did that, I'm speaking. That's what I saw. I said, oh, that's the language to say, I'm speaking. Change things. I'm just not here about politics. It's talking about having examples of people in leadership that look like you, so that you know that you can do it too. That you know that you can have freedom to be able to set boundaries. That's what it's about, being a supreme leader. And all of a sudden, the tears become oppressive, because of those tears, I can no longer speak. There's some supreme leaders that have not even figured that out yet, that they can do that. So, to all my white allies inside of the room, when you see somebody cut a Black woman off or Black man off, I need you to step up. And I need you to say, she was speaking. Until they're comfortable, I need you to say, she was speaking. She was speaking. Yeah. And as I get ready to wrap things up, I want to tell you all how to be a supreme leader. Because it's hard. It's definitely hard being the first. But it's hard being a supreme leader. I'm not here to tell you how empowered you are. I'm telling you that it is hard. I don't care who you are. If you want to get in a C-suite spot or a leadership spot, you can leave where you are. But if you want to go inside of some of the corporate places, you're going to have to learn how hard it is to Katanji. But first, I'm going to leave you with a couple of tips. One, find out what you're most passionate about. Don't Google it. Don't look at anybody else. What are you most passionate about? Find the biggest problem in the world that you cannot stand and you want to fix. Find your passion, because that's what you're going to change. Then the next thing I want you to do is research. Learn not just what you believe, but research the other side of the thought process as well. You got to do both sides. You can't have diversity, inclusion, and this and that. Don't do that. It's divisive. I've seen people yell about CRT and you didn't even look it up. What do you want? It's divisive. What else? Our world has been divisive. And until we learn to have a conversation with each other and find out that community is the place where everybody belongs, COVID taught us one thing, is that we're only as healthy as the least healthy in our community. Research both sides of the issue so that you can have an intelligent conversation. That you can see people where they are, you can meet them there, and you can say yes and this. See, when you say but or cut people off the rest of, they're not listening to anything you say. I say yes, and I would also like you to consider. So after you do that, after you've done your research on both sides, find a supreme leader. Find somebody who has walked a mile in the shoes that you want to fill. Find a mentor. Find a Patanji. Find a Judge Flood. Find a supreme leader. And it's not just by title. You'll know them when you see them. I've known people come to a room and sit at a table, start talking, and this person could be at the lead, and everybody say, after you do that, express continual belief in your dream. I don't care who you are. Express continual belief in your dream. Everywhere I went, I told people about what I believed. I told them what the changes that I wanted to see until people started to listen. Come speak here, come speak there, come speak here, come speak there. Express continual belief in your dream. The next part is remove naysayers as close friends. Y'all don't hear me. Because see, sometimes you can have supreme leaders that don't raise up the other person around them. I don't have any competition because I'm leading what God called me to walk in. I'm walking in that destiny. I'm not walking in nobody else's. I don't care if you're white, you're black, you're any of this. No, I don't want your place because I have my own. I got my own journey. Tell people say, I wish I could do that. No, you don't. You need to do what you wish that you do, the gift that you have, because I probably can't do that. So after you do that, and you've done it, where was that? Were you paying attention? What was the last part? My medicine only lasts 8 hours. Hold on. I do have 8 hours. What did they say? Oh, find a mentor. Yes, after you find a mentor. Thank you, sister. Thank you, supreme leader. Sometimes you need somebody to remind you where you are, remind you where you come from, and remind you where you're going. That's why you got to express continued belief in your dream. Find that mentor. And then the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to recognize, you have to realize this, it will always cost more money than you have. Yeah. It will always cost more money than you have. And you hear me? You got a big dream, it's always going to cost more money than you have at the moment. And the second thing, it is going to take longer than you expect it to take. It's going to take longer. You hear me? Okay. So you know what it's going to cost more than the money you have? And it's going to take longer than you expect it to take? Katanji right through it. Never give up. Thank you all for listening. My name is Katara Johnson-Jones. I am a black woman, and black women are supreme. Thank you. Y'all gonna make me cry. Wait. Can you pass me my phone? My daughter needs to see this. Hold on. Can you give me that? See,
I bring my daughter because she needs to understand what a supreme leader looks like. If you don't have anybody watching, you're not doing it right. All right, here we go. All right. With that being said,
Give it up, girl.
I love you, and this is why mommy wasn't home.
Wow. Hold on. Wow. You know what? I think she deserves another round of applause. Let's give her some. All right, we're gonna mix things up a little bit. Now that we all have stood up, we're excited, and we're ready to dash, we're gonna do our dessert dash. And so hopefully y'all know what desserts you want. But one thing I want to say is that I really want to thank you all. This dessert dash, because of you, we've raised $3,808. So let's give you all a round of applause for that. That is, you all love your desserts. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the tables. I'm going to give the table numbers and make sure you have someone who's ready to dash. This is going to go pretty quickly. So please take the dessert that you want and the cutter, and we'll make sure that you all get some plates. All right, are you ready? Okay. Unfortunately, we're not first for Chandra. I'm sorry. All right. All right. First table. Table number 5 at $725. Then we've got table 10 at $610. Then we've got table 15. These multiples of 5 at $485. Table 8, $400. Table 9 at $360. And then table number 1 with $320. All right, Judge, I'll give you a break. Ready? All right.
Go.
After that, table 6 at $240. And my favorite table, table 3 at $190.
All right now.
Lucky table 13 at $135. Table number 2 at $122. All right, let's dash. Table number 4 for $100. All right, table number 14 at $60. And then table number 12 at $51. And last but not least, and good luck, table 11.
All right.
All right. Hopefully keep going dashing.
All right, now let's get them desserts, everybody.
So Robert, I'm gonna go around and maybe put plates on people's tables so that way there's not that dash. Does that make sense?
Okay, sounds good. Okay, once everybody gets your desserts and get some plates and get seated, we're going to jump right into the awards part of this program here. So get your sweets, get your forks, dig in. All right, everybody. How those desserts taste? You ever dig in just yet? Let me see. Good? All right. Thumbs up. Judge Flood. Judge Flood.
All right, so we're going to move right into, in the interest of time, just move right into our community service awardees. So we have had some awarded. All right, take a seat. Take a seat. I won't call you up. I won't call you up. You first.
She said you wanted me.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Sit down. All right, so we're going to move right into our awardees. And again, I just want to thank Ms. Katara for a magnificent and powerful speech and being here with us this evening to empower our young Black women. You know, we have a great community over here in Kitsap County. You know, no matter where I go, I always say that, but it is the absolute truth. And you know, we have mentors for these young women, so we want to make sure that we're able to pass the torch on to the next generation. So with that said, we're going to move into the Community Service Awards. And again, the theme of the night has been Black Women Are Supreme. And to quote Michelle Obama, there is power in allowing yourself to be known and heard, in owning your unique story, in using your authentic voice. And there's grace in being willing to know and hear others. Again, that was Michelle Obama who said that. But, I couldn't think of a better quote for tonight with these supreme Black women here tonight that we're going to be honoring, who all have unique stories. They all have an authentic voice when you talk to them. They are willing to be there for others. They sacrifice so much for others. They are selfless. And in saying that, again, I couldn't think of a better quote to capture the moment of tonight in honoring these beautiful supreme Black women that are here tonight. So our first community service awardee is my lovely wife, Judge Tracy S. Flood. So I was going to read her bio, but it's really, really long, but you guys all know her. In the interest of time, we're going to just keep it moving. So Judge Flood. This award reads, the NAACP Bremerton Community Service Award honoring Judge Tracy S. Flood, Bremerton Municipal Court Judge, in grateful appreciation for years of outstanding service and commitment to the community, September 10th, 2022.
It has been a long, wonderful evening. So I will say thank you. I appreciate it, and we're going to keep it moving. Thank you.
All right, next up we have First Lady Eileen Coleman. Please help me, join me in a round of applause. Want to say a few words?
I like Tracy. I'm just going to keep it short. I just thank the NAACP for thinking of me. Maybe I'm not going to keep it too short, because when my husband said, because he kind of mentioned it in passing, that I was getting an award, I said, who? Me? I said, what did they give me an award for? But I appreciate you thinking about me. And I hear you. I hear you. I hopefully I don't have to katana anybody, but I hear you. I hear you. And I appreciate this. And it just means a lot that you thought about me. I've been here a while. I've been in this community a while. Seems like I've done a lot of things in my church and in the community, but I appreciate it. And I thank you. Thank you.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right. Robert, do you want to do Teresa?
You want to do this? Come on. Come on.
Yes.
All right, next up we have Dr. Teresa McDermott. Please help me welcome her up.
Where's her box?
Where, over here?
No,
Right
right
here.
here.
Say a couple words? Oh, you want me to speak first, huh?
Well, we're going to present you your award first.
Okay.
You go, Dr. McDermott.
Thank you.
All right. Floor is yours.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Thank you. I know you're all anxious to get out of here, but I did prepare a few words. Okay. Okay, thanks. First, I would like to say thank you to the Bremerton NAACP for acknowledging me as one of this year's recipients of the Black Women Are Supreme Award. It is an honor to be included amongst the other award recipients here today for their work in advancing policies and practices that expand human and civil rights and to eliminate discrimination. Congratulations to you, Eileen Coleman. Where's she at? Okay. Tracy Flood, Karen Vargas, and the late Alice Egan's. I would be remiss in not acknowledging that it was because of the selfless examples of service to their community by women like Alice Egan's, Lillian Walker, Hazel Colvin, and Diane Robinson that got me involved in the NAACP. And I would also like to acknowledge a host of other women here tonight that were are part of my Underground Railroad, and that's Shali Lee, Rashonda, where's she at? Jackie, Elaine, Toby, Harriet, and a host of other women that stand in this space with me, because without your support, this wouldn't be possible. I want you to know that I'm humbled and grateful throughout my years to have had numerous opportunities to serve in positions, as Mary McLeod Bethune would have said, that were not for myself, but for others. For me, that has been working in higher education for 30 years. I truly believe that a commitment to excellence in education is linked to a strong and healthy community. Next, I would like to say thank you to my family. First, my husband, Urban. Words cannot express my gratitude for your love and support over the years. The successes and opportunities that have been afforded me wouldn't be possible without your unwavering devotion to your family and our children, John Eric, Urban III, and Ariel. Second, to my mother, Virginia, and grandmothers, Julia and Claudia, for your sacrifices and paving the way for your future generations. Thank you to my friends, colleagues at Olympic College, and the community members. Your attendance here and the commitment to the strengthening of our communities is a testament of why the work of the NAACP is relevant today, as when the national organization began in 1909 and our local chapter was established in 1943. I believe eliminating racism and inequalities is the work of everyone. I challenge you to continue to look for ways to make a difference. We need each of you. And of course, my shameless plug tonight for you to join the NAACP. Okay. Lastly, I would like to share with you the 9 maxims that Mary McLeod Bethune wrote in her last will and testament. I leave to you love. I leave to you hope. I leave you the challenge of developing confidence in one another. I leave you a thirst for education. I leave you a respect for the use of power. I leave you faith. I leave you racial dignity. I leave you a desire to live harmoniously with your fellow men. I leave you a responsibility for our young people. Thank you.
Dr. McDermott.
Our next awardee is Akwie Karen Vargas. So as Miss Vargas makes her way up here, yeah, let's give her a big round of applause. When I first met her, the passion that she has for the community and the youth in the community just was amazing. You know, and every time I've had conversations with Karen, it has been about the community. It has been about the children in the community and how can we help these kids in the community? How can we help them be better? You know, nothing about herself. I can't remember one conversation I've had where she has said something about her. Even when she was getting this award, she was like, "Oh no, you ain't got to honor me." I said, "Absolutely, I have to." That's it. You know, if you don't, get anyway. But with no further ado, Miss Akwie Karen Vargas. If you will.
You know, it has been a challenge. You know, we moved here over 30 plus years ago, and when we got here, we found that we were one of the only African American families in our community, in our whole city. And my children had a terrible time in the school districts. And I found myself having to go up to the school districts just to advocate for my children. My son was coming home saying to me he didn't want to be Black. And then my daughter had stopped talking. And my youngest was labeled bully. And so I went up to the school districts and I said, "What is going on here?" And they wanted to put my daughter in special needs because she wasn't engaging. She wouldn't talk. She wouldn't play with the other students. And so I took her up to the school and I said, I really want to have a meeting and find out what's going on here. And when I went into the meeting where they were doing her evaluation, I saw my daughter do something that that just troubled me. I saw her cringe. I saw her withdraw. And I looked over to her and I said, "Kayla, what is going on?" And she began to bust out in tears and say, "Mommy, they call me nigga. They spit on me. They kicked me." And I just began to cry. And she wasn't the only one. She wasn't the only one that was experiencing being in a predominant European community, that they were the only ones in their classroom, the only ones in their community, only ones on the playground. And so I began to advocate for my children, but not only for my children. I began to rally all the rest of the students of color. And I began to instill in them the importance of being comfortable in their own skin and being able to speak for themselves and lift up their own voices and be able to speak out when something was being done wrong to them. And so I never went out just to say I'm an advocate or anything. It was a response to some traumatic things that were going on within our communities and within our school districts. And so over the last 30 plus years, I have had the awesome opportunity to work with our Living Life Leadership students. Students, could you please stand? And our Kitsap Black Student Union. And could you please stand, all of the students? That's you too. That's right. And I want you to look at these young people and I want you to give them a hand, because many of them that came tonight, it took courage for them to come. You know, some of them were fearful. Some of them didn't know how to be in a space with adults and didn't know what to expect. But we're trying to break down barriers, and we're trying to build up the esteem of our young people so they feel good about themselves and that they're able to accomplish anything that they set out to do. And so, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the community that supports them, that have rallied around them for these 30 plus years, 20 years. In 2023, it will be 20 years that we've been advocating. And these young people have done some outstanding. When I say outstanding, they went down to Olympia and changed the achievement gap of African American students to the opportunity gap of students of color. They were able to do street life. They reached out to those that was homeless. They mapped the homeless. They did youth against domestic violence. They began to do the school to prison pipeline. They have done some tremendous lifting and transformational work within Kitsap County. They helped us to form that's right, give them a hand. These are our future leaders that have come forth, and if we don't support them, who will? And so I don't receive this award on my own. This award belongs to our young people that have transformed our community in such a way that they are life-giving. And when I say life-giving, that's why we do live in life leadership, because we have to empower them to transform lives. And they have made the difference. And I just commend you all of our young people tonight for all the work that you have done over the years. Thank you.
All right, so we have just a couple more awards here. I want to say thank you for everyone for bearing with us. Again, it's been a couple years since we've been able to put this program on. I know we're running just a little bit long, but I do appreciate you all and I appreciate your patience. Honey, you want to come up here?
I tried to leave.
This is for Carl.
Okay.
Come on.
So the long-standing tradition of the NAACP is to always honor those that grace us with their presence and give of their time and energy to come out and be our keynote speaker. So at this juncture of our program, I'm going to have Ms. Katara to come up. And we just want to present you with a plaque that we give to our speakers to honor them and to show them our appreciation and to let you know.
Now we got a Tracy, right?
So this is an appreciation for, again, she's been away from her family. Everything that we do here at the NAACP is volunteer. None of these positions are paid. So in order to do the work that we do, we have a handful of volunteers. So consider this a call. We could use some more help.
All right, we're going to take a picture right here real quick and then come back. Don't go. Y'all can take a picture. Not done just yet. So, this last award, but not least award, goes to someone who touched my life every time that I had a chance to speak with her. Always greeted me with a kiss on the cheek, a hug, says, "Baby, how you doing?" Even if she wasn't doing well, that was the conversation. Every conversation I had with her always started that way. And, when she transitioned, I never really had a chance to say goodbye, you know. So it was on my heart to present her with an award of appreciation for all that she meant, not only just to me, but to everybody in this community. When me and my wife and I got married, sang at our wedding. Wasn't on the agenda, but when you see an angel start to sing, what you gonna do? You step back and you let her do her thing. So
So this is a special award, again, in memoriam, for Miss Irma Lee Songbird Riley. And I mentioned earlier in my comments that me and Daryl Riley grew up in the same neighborhood. That was after 1270 South St. Louis. But Miss Riley and I and the Riley boys all went to the same church. Miss Riley sang at my mom's funeral. And I was active duty military, and I didn't really know the extent of how sick my mom was. And then for her to sing at my wedding. At our wedding.
she said,
but I'm
it right. She said
personalizing.
it right.
I'm personalizing at my wedding. Really touched my heart. So, Dale Riley, I call him Scotty. Come forward. We present her family with this award in loving memory of all that she meant to our community, family members, and friends. And she was also a big part of our church family here at Sinclair Missionary Baptist Church. So again, we do this in honor in her memory. And we've got to do better in honoring our elders while they're here.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, NAACP, Robert. I appreciate this so much. My mom and we had a tough relationship, but I was able to learn who she was as a woman. And my brother and I still talk about her all the time. And I ain't gonna talk too much. I'm just gonna leave y'all what she would say. She would say, "Thank you for this award." She would say, "Thank the Lord, bless the cook, and have mercy on the dishwasher."
We're good. You may be seated, Queen. Well, again, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. It has just been great seeing so many beautiful smiling faces here and being able to sit down and break bread. Like I said, it's been a long time coming. So I'm happy to see everybody. Oh, okay. All right. He just telling me to make sure that y'all that pay with your credit card, make sure you check out before you leave. Okay. Well, again, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everyone had a wonderful time. Everybody looked beautiful. Give yourselves a round of applause. And we'll be doing this. We'll be doing this again next year. So we'll be looking for a fun-filled banquet. With lots of faces here and lots of camaraderie and great food and networking and all of those things. And before I close out, Ms. Spaghetti, did you want to say a few words? No.
As the judge said, I believe, I would like to wish you all a good night, but thank you all so much for being here and for being part of our amazing community. And thank you for being here to honor the supreme Black women that we have in Kitsap County and throughout the United States. Thank you so much.
All right. So one few final comments. I just want to make sure we acknowledge that Mr. Marwan from the Conduit here was to record everything. We appreciate his time. Again, thank you for all the staff and all the support teams. Miss Christina Rourke for being our photographer for tonight. I always joke with my wife saying, "Where's Christina at today? I got to catch up with her." But again, thank you all for being here tonight. Again, I appreciate your patience. Hopefully next year we'll be able to streamline the program just a little bit more. But again, thank you for being here and have a good night. I hope you guys enjoyed the desserts and enjoyed the program.
All right, everyone. That concludes the NAA.
And award recipients, please come forward so we can take a group photo.
1134 79th Annual Freedom Banquet. Definitely a powerful event. As you can see, people were very moved by the event. Really good there. All right. So this was definitely a powerful event. Definitely something for women to be super appreciative, as this was the supreme woman.
If you made any bids on the silent auction items,
So very, very powerful of event. Great speakers, tremendous evening. Just awesome. So we hope that you will join us again next year. I am your host, Marwan Cameron, for all the entire team, Keyshawn, Brandon, and Rob. This is the Conduit Podcast Network. We will see you next time. All right, everyone. Thank you so much.
again, please.